Hello, my dear students, and today in this video I am going to have the complete analysis of the entire prose, My Greatest Olympic Prize by J.C. Wales. J.C. Wales, the author of this piece of prose, is a great athlete, and here in this prose he has described his own experience as a part of the athletics in the Olympics of 1936 held at Germany. He is remembered for all the days to come because he is not an ordinary Olympian. He is really an extraordinary record setter Olympic medal holder of his time. So we need to study him. He is considered to be a hero in his time, not just because he won the game, he won 4 gold medals in that Olympics, but because of his situation, he managed to set a new trend that nothing can come in the way of achieving success if one has the real potential, one has the real spirit of winning. If one is ready enough to put in tremendous effort in spite of struggle, in spite of many more hurdles of life. As an athlete, as a sports person from America, as a sports person from the Black American community, he had faced racial discrimination, social isolations, poverty, many more aspects of life, because he was the youngest child among the 10 in his family, and you can understand how difficult it is to have a living when the family has 10 children to feed, and at the same time the situations of the Black American during that time was not so good as it is right now. So you can study him against that backdrop. As already mentioned in one of my videos that J.C. Wales won 4 gold medals, 4 gold medal वो जीते थे वही ओलंपिक्स 1936 ओलंपिक्स जो बर्लिन में हुआ था. 100 मीटर्स में वो गोल्ड मेडल जीते थे, 200 मीटर्स में भी जीते थे, लॉन्ग जंप में वो रिकॉर्ड किए थे, और वो जो रिले रेस टीम थे, he was obviously a part of that relay race team, or that was 4 into 100 meter relay race, and he had set records. और एक बात है कि जो वो रिकॉर्ड जो किए थे, and that records remained unbroken, unchallenged, unbeaten for almost 25 years. 25 years तक वही records को कोई भी ब्रेक नहीं किए थे, and that was itself a record, that कोई ओलंपिक रिकॉर्ड को 25 years तक कोई भी ब्रेक नहीं किया गया था. That was not in your book, but if you want to study, you must have interest in the topic itself. So here in this piece of prose, we are just focusing on his experience as an athlete in the jumping event, and the experience was with Luzulong. वो जंपिंग इवेंट, लॉन्ग जंप, जो लॉन्ग जंप इवेंट में उनका जो एक्सपीरियंस था उसी को यहाँ डिस्कस किया गया है, और वो उनका माइंडसेट क्या था, जर्मनी का उसी टाइम माइंडसेट क्या था, उसी के बारे में वो डिस्कस किए हैं. तो It was the summer of 1936. He mentioned that. You can read it in detail. It was the summer of 1936 when the games were held in Berlin. So it was almost 1936. Think of that situation. It was just before the Second World War. Second World War started in 1939 and it was prior to that. So you can think of that situation. It was held in 1936. 1936 में ये इवेंट हुआ था, लेकिन अभी भी हम पढ़ रहे हैं. तो देयर मस्ट बी सम स्पेशल. इसमें तो कोई स्पेशल होगा. इसीलिए हम लोग पढ़ रहे जेसी वेंस और एक एथलेट, जर्मन एथलेट्स के बारे में जो मैं अभी बताने वाला हूं. और एक बात है, ओलंपिक्स में कितने लोग मेडल जीतते हैं, कितने लोग रेस्पेक्ट रिकॉग्निशन लाते हैं, बट देयर आर सम फ्यू who are remembered for all the days to come, who are considered to be the ideal, who are considered to be a perfect hero, a perfect ideal persons for all the generations to come, and all the generations need to follow them. And it's perhaps because of that we are now studying this piece of prose, My Greatest Olympic Prize by J.C. Owens. So यहां पे वो बताए हैं 1936 ओलंपिक्स का जो बर्लिन में हुआ था. उसी टाइम हिटलर वाज द रूलर एंड यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड हाउ हिटलर वाज. एंड इट वाज कंसिडर्ड, इट वाज वाइडली बिलीव्ड दैट हिटलर वाज द रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर. ही वाज ए पर्सन, he was a kind of man who didn't like to listen to others. He was a man of himself only. He was listening to his own way of life. अगर कोई उनको अपोज करेगा तो either he will be eliminated or extradited. आप तो जानते हैं हिटलर was a dictator and dictator क्या कर सकते हैं. वो किसी के बात वो सुनते नहीं है, किसी के बात वो सुनते नहीं है. वो जो मन में वो लेते हैं, that becomes the rule, and their words, their way of life become the source of all the rules. So this Olympic was held against that backdrop, and during that time in the Olympic Games of 1936 that was held in Berlin, there was a misconception, or it was a belief by Hitler and his own men that his own people are considered to be superior to other people in every walks of life. His own people are considered to be a superior race, considered to be a master race. जो कि वो बोले हैं वो master race हैं, और जो दूसरे लोग हैं they are considered to be inferior to that master race. तो यहां बात यह है कि जेसी वेंस was from a different community. He was a Negro. You can say black American. He was a Negro. So this mindset didn't go well with J.C. Owens. ये J.C. Owens को अच्छा नहीं लगा ये mindset. But it was not a matter of origin at all, because he had worked hard. He had put in all effort. He had put in every effort. He had trained himself for the last 6 years. 6 साल से वो प्रैक्टिस कर रहे थे, कीपिंग इन माइंड दिस ओलंपिक गेम्स. वो तो ऑलरेडी सोचे थे कि एटलीस्ट वो एक या 2 गोल्ड मेडल्स वो जीत के ही जाएंगे. ही हैड ऑलरेडी थॉट ऑफ दैट एंड ही वाज नॉट वरीड एट ऑल. और एक रीजन भी है, क्योंकि लिए यूनिवर्सिटी स्टूडेंट के हिसाब से वो ऑलरेडी रिकॉर्ड सेट किए थे कि वो वहां पे एज ए यूनिवर्सिटी स्टूडेंट he had managed to create a record jumping almost 26 feet 8.14 inches, and that was a record. तो कोई भी सोचेगा कि हाँ जंपिंग इवेंट में, लॉन्ग जंप में तो मेडल जेसी वेंस को ही मिलना है. That was almost the final thought. But the mindset was not in favor of Jesuits, the atmosphere was against him because there was a kind of feelings, you can say, a kind of racial feelings, you can say, that Hitler was thinking his own race as the master race. He was believing in Aryan superiority theory. Aryan superiority theory ये है कि जो आर्यंस है वो दूसरों रेस से बेहतर हैं. And Hitler considered his own people, his own race as the part of the Aryan community. So ये mindset, this sort of feelings was not going well with Jesuits. In the meantime, स्टार्ट हो गया, क्वालिफाइंग राउंड ओलंपिक स्टार्ट हो गया, और ही सॉ ए टॉल मैन फ्रॉम जर्मनी. ही वॉज ए लिटिल बिट सरप्राइज्ड, क्योंकि लिए ही वॉज टॉल एंड ही सॉ हिम फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. देयर वॉज a different sort of games, but he was not participating in other games. So he saw him for the first time and he was named by Luzlong. वो जर्मन एथलीट थे, उनका नाम लुजलोंग था. He was tall, he was handsome, and he managed to jump for almost 26 feet in his first attempt. He could know that he was kept under wraps. Keeps something or somebody under wraps का मतलब secret में रखा हुआ था. He was kept in secret. क्यों secret में रखा हुआ था? कि so that he should win that event. He should win the long jump. इसीलिए वो secret में उनको रखा गया था, so that others may not devise strategy against him. तो दूसरे लोग उनके अगेंस्ट में स्ट्रैटेजी ना बन उनके अगेंस्ट में स्ट्रैटेजी न बन पाए और कोई दूसरा उनके अगेंस्ट में स्ट्रैटेजी नहीं बना पाएंगे. ये माइंडसेट में ही वाज कैप्ट अंडर रैप्स. कीप समथिंग अंडर आर रैप्स, और यू कैन से कीप समथिंग इन सीक्रेट. ही वाज ऑलमोस्ट hidden. So in this backdrop, so obviously Luzlong was doing his best and he managed to qualify in his first attempt. So Jesse Owens was a little bit annoyed because he was from a black American community and as a part of different race, he wanted to show, वो बताना चाहते थे हिटलर को, उनके लोगों को, वहां पे जो एटमॉस्फेयर था उसी को, कि that the other race, the people of other race are not inferior to what Hitler was talking about. He wanted to show what he was made of, that those people are not superior to him at all. And he wanted to win by hook or by crook at any cost. किसी भी तरह वो जीतना चाहते थे, क्योंकि लिए अगर लुजलोंग वहां वो गेम, वो इवेंट, जो लॉन्ग जंप इवेंट अगर जीत जाते तो it will add to the perceptions, the conceptions of Hitler's Aryan superiority theory. वो जो सोच रहे थे वो सही साबित होगा, इसीलिए वो किसी भी तरह वही इवेंट को जीतना चाहते थे. And he was annoyed about that atmosphere. He was not happy about that atmosphere. और किसी भी तरह वही लॉन्ग जंप इवेंट्स में वो अच्छा प्रदर्शन करना चाहते थे जेसी ओवेंस. तो उसी से पहला यूनिट का खत्म एंड इट ब्रिंग्स द फर्स्ट यूनिट टू एन एंड. इन द सेकेंड यूनिट द रियल टेस्ट फॉर जेसी ओवेंस केम एंड ओ रियल टेस्ट दैट ही वांटेड टू शो. ऑलरेडी लुजलोंग क्वालिफाई कर चुके हैं। ये दूसरी तरफ जेसी वेन्स क्या करने वाले हैं उसी पर डिस्क्रिप्शन है सेकेंड यूनिट। ऑलरेडी जेसी वेन्स जानते थे कि एंगर या इमोशन शुड बी अंडर कंट्रोल। अगर कोई एथलेट अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस करना चाहता है, मेडल जीतना चाहता है, लाइफ में आगे बढ़ना चाहता है, तो इमोशन को कंट्रोल में लाना बहुत जरूरी है। एंड द एथलेट शुडंट बी एंग्री, एंगर शुड बी अंडर हिज बेल्ट। ये जानते हुए भी जेसी वेन्स couldn't control, in fact, वो दिखाने के तहत in the process of showing what he was made of, he made a foul, you can say. He jumped beyond the take-off board and he was disqualified. He was disqualified in his first attempt. वो जो टेकअप बोर्ड था उसी का उसको क्रॉस कर लिए एंड ही वाज डिस्क्वालिफाइड। इन द सेकेंड अटेम्प्ट में भी द परफॉर्मेंस और खराब था। सो उनके पास बचा और एक अटेम्प्ट। 3 अटेम्प्ट, यू वुड हैव जस्ट 3 अटेम्प्ट्स in the Olympic Games for the qualifying round. One has to take 3 attempts, and in this case Jesuits have already failed in the first 2 attempts. There was just 1 attempt left. तो आप समझ सकते हो उनका मेंटल कंडीशन क्या होगा। वो ऑब्वियसली अंडर स्ट्रेस, अंडर प्रेशर में ही होंगे, क्योंकि लिए उनके पास और एक अटेम्प्ट है। पहले अटेम्प्ट फेल हो चुके हैं, दूसरा अटेम्प्ट उससे भी और बदतर हुआ है और खराब। और उनका जो एम्बिशन था कि वो किसी भी तरह इसमें ये लॉन्ग जंप में मेडल हासिल करेंगे, जो हिटलर जो सोच है उस सोच को डिस्प्रूव करेंगे, फॉल्स करेंगे, उसको सही नहीं है उसको प्रमाण करेंगे, उसको साबित करेंगे। तो he wanted to win at any cost, but there was just 1 attempt left. He was under pressure, he was under stress. वो सोचे that he had come for 3,000 miles just to have this sort of situation. For a while, he went away from the jumping peak. He kicked to the ground. And आप समझ सकते हैं कोई दूसरा एथलेट उनका कंप्यूटर का माइंडसेट के बारे में। लुजलोंग must have watched him closely. He was aware of what Jesse Wen was. He was aware of who Jesse Wen was. And he was watching him very closely. In the meantime, when Jesse Wen was in this condition, he came to him and told, I am Luzlong, I don't think we have met. He showed a friendly gesture. उनको एक फ्रेंडली जेस्चर दिखाया and as a kind of pleasantry in its exchange, Jesuit said, glad to meet you. In fact, he was not glad. He couldn't be glad in that condition because he had just 1 attempt and he had already failed in the first 2 attempts, and Luzlong was his competitor. And he was also a part of so-called the master race. So he cannot be comfortable. He cannot be glad to meet him. But as a kind of formality, he said that formality के तहत वो बोले कि हाँ, glad to meet you. So then all these things was understood, quite understood by Luzlong. Luzlong asked him, "How are you?" And how are you in that situation was a kind of embarrassing question for Jesse Owens, because Jesse Owens must have answered in a different tone. What do you mean by the questions, "How are you?" And here in this case, again, Jesse Owens asked him in an effort to hide his nervousness, "How are you?" किसको? Luzlong को बोले, "How are you?" Luzlong was able to understand what Jesse Owens wanted to say. And Luzlong बोले, "Yes, I am fine." He was fine. In fact, he was fine. There was no problem because he had already managed to qualify in the first round. In the first attempt. वो पहले attempt में qualify कर चुके थे. And he was really fine. And he expressed that. Again, Luzlong asked, "How are you?" And this was a kind of embarrassing question for Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens wanted to retort, wanted to answer, "Why are you asking this question?" Because that was a kind of question that he didn't expect. वो expect नहीं कर रहे थे कि वो बोले कि "I am fine, but लेकिन आप कैसे हो?" जो जेसी वेंस को जो पूछे, he was not expecting that. वो एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहे थे. तो दूसरा बात ये हो गया, he told something must be eating you. Means that Luzlong उनको सीधा बताए कि you are not happy, you are not glad. आप glad नहीं हो, आप happy नहीं हो. There must be something that is worrisome for you. And it was obvious कि he was under stress. वो सीधा बताए. And he also told him that there was no reasons to be worried about. Luzlong ने बताए there was no reasons to be worried about because he was the great athlete and he had set the world record. Everyone was expecting him to win the long jump. So इसमें worrisome का कोई बात नहीं है. And also Luzlong asked him that he can manage to qualify with his eyes closed easily without any worry, without any difficulties. जेसी वेंस ने वही क्वालिफाइंग राउंड में क्वालिफाई कर जाएंगे, इसने ये लुजुलोंग ने बताई. इट वाज इजी because he had already set the record. And Jesse Owens accepted that. They talked for some time. वो कुछ समय के लिए वो बात किए. And he didn't reveal what was the cause of his worries. Jesse Owens didn't reveal what the cause of worry was because it was really understood by Luzlong. Luzlong was quite intelligent. He was empathetic. He had the power of empathy. दूसरों को समझने की क्षमता लुजलोंग के पास था, इसीलिए उसने उसके पास आया. He showed the friendly gesture. And you will now see what he would be going to tell reveal. जब बात करते करते when Jesse Owens could understand that although Luzlong was brought up under the regime of Hitler, under that conceptions that Aryans are considered to be superior to any other race, उसी सिचुएशन में बढ़ते हुए भी he was not like them. That Jesse Owens could sense, that Jesse Owens could imagine. उसमें बढ़ते हुए, उसमें रहते हुए भी he was not like the other people, the people of Hitler's community. And In the meantime, when Luzlong saw that yes, Jesse Owens was a little bit calm and composed, he revealed the techniques, tricks. This is the crux of this piece of prose. This is the most important part of this prose. Look, now the competitor of Jesse Owens is giving him the real techniques. क्या प्रोसेस, क्या टेक्निक्स है, क्या प्रोसीजर है, जिस प्रोसीजर को वो अपना के वो लॉन्ग जंप को जीत सके. He was giving this technique and that was the real test of one's reality, one's real conscience. हो सकता था इसमें, I have thought of a lot about this. Think of this situation. इसमें लुजलंग खुश होते कि जेसी वेंस was not able to qualify, लेकिन वो ऐसे नहीं थे. He gave him the techniques. The techniques was that he asked him to draw a line few inches at the back of the takeoff board. क्योंकि लिए he had set the world record. Jesse Owens had set the world record. और बहुत दूर तक वो जंप कर सकते थे. अगर पहले कुछ इंच में लाइन ड्रा करेंगे और उसमें भी वो जंप अगर करेंगे, then also he can qualify. And that was the qualifying round. That was a trial round, in fact. And there is no credit for any athletes to. There was no credit for any athletes to come first, second, or any other position. That was just a qualifying round. And Jesse Owens adopted what Luzlong told and he managed to qualify in his last attempt. बात ये है इसमें कि लुजलोंग ने without thinking of his own chances of getting the medal if Jesse Owens would fail, उसने जेसी वेंस को इन क्वालिफाइंग राउंड में क्वालिफाई होने की एक टेक्निक बता दी एंड जेसी वेंस अंडरस्टूड इट एंड जेसी वेन एक्सेप्टेड इट, एक्नॉलेज्ड इट दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डील इन द थर्ड यूनिट. थर्ड यूनिट में क्या हुआ, ऑब्वियसली इट वॉज बिकॉज ऑफ लुजलोंग जेसी वेंस मैनेज टू गेट थ्रू द क्वालिफाइंग राउंड. और जेसी वेंस को पता था शायद अगर लुजलोंग ने वो जो ट्रिक्स, जो सजेशंस दिए अगर नहीं देती, शायद वो उसमें अगर फेल कर जाती तो ही वुड नॉट हैव बीन इन द फाइनल राउंड. फाइनल राउंड में वो कभी नहीं होते. ही वॉज अवेयर ऑफ दैट. सो ऑन दैट नाइट, इन दैट नाइट Jesse Owens came to the quarters of Luzlong, came to the room of Luzlong. Luzlong को room को आसे tell it, or you know, all the athletes, all the players remain in the Olympic village and they can talk, they can share feelings, they can share their thought, they can exchange views in that village and people of different nations are there. So he came to his room. लुजलोंग के रूम के पास वो आए, वहां पे वो बातचीत किए, ऑलमोस्ट 2 hours वो बातचीत किए. They talked about a lot about the global affairs, about their personal life, about the track and field, about that events. They talked a lot about different things. Almost 2 hours. And बहुत सारे विषय के बारे में वो बात किए. And when Jesse Owens wanted to leave, Luzlong wished him, and that was the real wish. क्योंकि लिए वो जानते थे a real friendship had already developed. Real friendship वो develop हो चुका था. So the other day the real game started, the final game started. और उसमें लुजलोंग भी पार्टिसिपेट करना है और जेसी वेंस भी पार्टिसिपेट करना है. अपने को बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस देना है, अपने को कोशिश करना है विन लुजलोंग भी विन करने की वो कोशिश करेंगे. एंड लुजलोंग tried his best. He gave his best performance and he broke his own record. तो ये उनका रिकॉर्ड जो ब्रेक किए वो बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस जो दिए. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट, इन ऑर्डर टू excel, in order to get ahead of Luzlong, Jesuans had to put off a better performance. And he did that. He had created, or Luzlong's performance pushed him to a great performance by Jesuans. Jesuans got the best performance so far the Olympic Games is concerned. He set the Olympic record. उसमें वो जंप किए 26 feet 5.14 inches and that was a record. He was declared winner. जब वो winner declare किए, at his side was the Luzlong and Luzlong was congratulating him. सो लुजलोंग उनको कंग्रेचुलेट किए, लुजलोंग उनको विश किए. जब डिक्लेयर और क्या गया कि जेसुएंस विनर है, जेसुएंस विनर घोषित करते समय उनके पास लुजलोंग थे. एंड ही विश्ड हिम, कंग्रेचुलेटेड हिम, एंड that congratulation was not artificial कि just for the sake of formality वो congratulate कर रहे थे. That was not like that. That was the real congratulations, a sincere wish, sincere congratulation, and that was from the very bottom of his heart. That was the congratulations coming from the very core of his heart, the real congratulation, the genuine expression of one's feelings. एंड लुजलोंग उनको कंग्रेचुलेट किए. एंड देन जेसुएंस ने समझे कि दैट फ्रेंडशिप वाज रियल एंड व्हाट ए फ्रेंडशिप दैट वाज. ही थॉट अगर सारे मेडल्स कॉप्स जितना सारे वो अचीव किए थे उनको अगर मेल्ट भी किया जाए तो दैट फ्रेंडशिप में जो प्लेटिंग हुआ 24 कैरेट फ्रेंडशिप जो रियल फ्रेंडशिप है उसमें प्लेटिंग नहीं हो सकता. एंड ही थॉट दैट फ्रेंडशिप टेक्स प्रेसिडेंस ओवर ऑल द मेडल्स, कॉप्स, प्रेस्टीज, रेस्पेक्ट, रिकॉग्निशंस, ऑल दोज थिंग्स. एंड he found Luzlong a great athlete. He considered him the epitome of the sports persons. Oh, epitome or real hero the, and you can understand that that was in fact a kind of winning for Luzlong in his losing spree. Oh, lost the key. He lost. He didn't win. Oh, Luzlong didn't win. But still, he found a place in the writings of Jesuans. Still, Luzlong is read by all the sports lovers. Still, Luzlong is considered to be a great athlete because of his mindset. And इसी के कारण इतना साल बीत जाने के बाद भी ये इवेंट्स जो 1936 है, we are reading Luzlong, we are reading Jesuans. And Jesuan was great also because he acknowledged that it was because of Luzlong he managed to get through in the qualifying round. He accepted, he acknowledged, and showing acknowledgement itself is a true nature of a great person. That is his greatness. That is the greatness of Jesuans, that he acknowledged the contributions of Luzlong in his own success, in his own success. Or Luzlong contributed much to the success of Jesse Wynn's performance, Jesse Wynn's participation in the Olympic Games. And he considered him as the epitome of the game. क्योंकि लिए Coubertin, the founder of the Olympic Games, says that The important thing in the Olympic Games is not winning but taking part. The essential thing in life is not conquering but fighting well. Winning करना, जीतना is not important in the Olympic Games, but to take part, to participate is what is of utmost importance. That is in fact needed. That is of utmost importance, highly appreciated in the Olympic Games. क्योंकि life में is not just about the thing that is conquering, but fighting well, fighting till the end. That is important. That is the crux of this prose. So this is about the prose, and I discussed it from the very beginning to the end with some explanation in Hindi so that you can understand it. And if you like it, give a thumbs up, share it, and also if you are new to this channel, subscribe it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.